Down this camp might have won the battle, but they ain't win the war.
Yeah, who I wanted.
You want Weezy?
Nah, I said I wanted 50. That's what I said. He don't want no smoke, though.
Oh, Lord.
I called my man out. He don't want no smoke. He ducking smoke.
At the peak of the feud, T and his team looked completely relaxed. From their perspective, the battle was already handled. Most fans watching from the outside believed he had actually won the rap clash. The momentum looked like it was on his side. Then everything flipped overnight. 50 Cent suddenly leaked what he claimed was episode 1 of a documentary built around more than 20 sexual assault allegations connected to T and his wife Tiny. That moment changed the entire narrative instantly. What had been regular rap suddenly turned into something way bigger, way darker. This is how the situation reached that point. The thread that started it all. In early March 2026, 50 Cent posted an Instagram screenshot announcing a project titled Surviving T.I. and Tiny. The caption directly referenced 20 sexual assault cases. To the couple, the post disappeared soon after, but deleting it did not erase anything. The internet had already seen it, screenshotted it, and started spreading it everywhere. Anyone familiar with 50 Cent's history understood exactly what that post meant. When he hints at documentaries, it usually is not just talk. He has a pattern of turning those into real productions, and the outcomes have rarely been good for the people involved. What leaked was not a full episode. It looked more like a preview, a signal of intention check. Nigga wanna say something about my mama dead as fuck nigga. Your mama dead as fuck go. But the reason it landed so hard had everything to do with the long road that led up to it. The tension between 50 Cent and T did not start recently. Their friction stretches back almost 20 years. At first it was just regional pride. New York versus Atlanta. To major hip-hop cities defending their turf. But by 2008, things had become personal. When 50 Cent started accusing Ty of cooperating with authorities, the accusations connected to a major case. From October 2007, T had been arrested after authorities said he tried to purchase machine guns and silencers from an undercover federal agent. At the time, he was facing the possibility of up to 10 years in prison, which made the situation extremely serious. Post a picture of your motherfucking mama nigga. Pay respect nigga. The case eventually resolved in about 1 year, but the controversy never fully disappeared. The issue followed him for years, especially after 50 Cent referenced it in a lyric. Kept the narrative alive. Inside hip-hop conversations, that line became something critics repeated again and again, and it stayed attached to T's name long after the case ended. For most of the two, the rivalry cooled down. It never fully vanished, but it stayed mostly quiet. Then around 2020 and 2021, T began publicly pushing for something. Fans were asking for a versus battle, the platform where legendary artists face off by playing their biggest hits back to back. 50 Cent shut the idea down every time it came up. But things heated up again during Super Bowl weekend. In February 2026, T appeared on the Nightcap podcast and claimed that 50 had once agreed to the versus battle before backing out. T is raised. I'm not raised like that. I'm not going by my mama. According to T, 50 decked the smoke. That comment lit the fuse instantly. 50 Cent responded the way he often does, not with a diss track first, but through social media. He reposted an old Crime Stoppers service announcement that T had once participated in. The clip was used to push the same narrative critics had been repeating for years. Soon after that, he posted a photo of Tanka Tiny Harris, T.I.'s wife, on Instagram. The post appeared on February 22, 2026, and the image was possibly edited to make her look unflattering. The caption mocked her appearance, and the post immediately sparked backlash online. That moment pushed the situation into a completely different lane. What's wrong with you? Y'all better tie your motherfucking shoes. Y'all don't know who the fuck you're fucking with. D's son King Harris jumped on Instagram Live almost immediately. His response escalated the conflict far beyond a normal rap disagreement. During the broadcast, he referenced a deeply painful part of 50 Cent's past. 50 Cent's mother, Sabrina Jackson, was killed in 1984 when he was only 8 years old. It is widely known history, and King clearly understood the weight behind it. When he spoke about it, the comments aimed directly at that tragedy, and the tone of the moment shocked many people watching the live stream. King framed his reaction as retaliation. From his point of view, if 50 Cent could target his mother online, then he would respond in the same spirit. The message he pushed was clear. He believed the disrespect had started with 50, but the internet saw it differently. To many observers, bringing up someone's late parent crossed the line that most rap feuds avoid. The situation started spreading rapidly across social media as clips from the live stream circulated everywhere. The next day, February 24th, T posted a video on his own page, dancing with his mother. The caption read, "Happy birthday, Mama," while one of his diss tracks played in the background.
Well, T.I. decided to respond and play into it and say, "I'm going to use it to promote my music." He said, at 56, "I don't fear my past. I'm too focused on the future. Top 20 in 2 weeks and climbing. Now, hashtag let them know that. King, I'm love, not light. Hashtag my God don't play."
And quickly picked up on the contrast. He was showing appreciation for his living mother, while his rival had lost his years earlier. To many viewers, the moment looked like another jab in the middle of the feud. That same week, another voice joined the situation. Damani Harris, another one of T's sons, released a diss track titled Miss Jackson on February 27th, 2026. The title alone had people talking, and the timing added even more tension to the already heated rivalry. Then King Harris pushed things even further. In this video, he appeared wearing a t-shirt printed with a photo of Sabrina Jackson, 50 Cent's late mother. The image and tone of the video sparked strong reactions across social media. Some people who supported T.I. felt the moment had crossed a serious line. Meanwhile, something unusual happened. 50 Cent went quiet at first. People assumed the silence meant he was stepping away from the conflict, but others believed the opposite, that he was planning something bigger behind the scenes. Because when 50 Cent finally made his next move, it was not another diss track. Instead, he dropped a threat that shook the entire situation. Around that time, he posted and later deleted an Instagram screenshot teasing a documentary titled Surviving T and Tiny. The caption referenced 20 sexual assault cases connected to the couple, and the message spread across the internet within minutes. "Good day, everyone. How are you doing? I am just bringing it to your attention that it is now July the 6th, and I gave you 2 days for a grace period just cause I had to get my shit together. I was having a good time, but 5 months. There's an app check for you or a paycheck for me." He was not just trolling anymore. At that point, 50 Cent was aiming at a very specific set of allegations, claims that have been hanging over T and Tiny 2021, and he was signaling that he might build a whole production around them. That is what makes the title of this video hit so hard. The leak was not a finished episode. It was 50 putting his playbook on display, and everybody watching understood the message because they had seen him move like this before. What gives 50's documentary threat real weight is not just the threat itself, it is the subject matter behind it. The story he was pointing to goes back to January 2021. When allegations involving T and Tiny Harris exploded into public view. Gentlemen, you see him. The gentleman. I'm an ambassador of the South, has it? Now I'm trying to get an update tip. You called out 50 Cent and said, "You want to do a verse, let me battle you something, guys." Listen. Here we go. Hey, look. Let me tell you something, guys. I know what the most entertaining. And probably the most relevant, humorous thing for us to talk about. And I get we can talk about it. The first major crack came from Sabrina Peterson, an entrepreneur and former friend of the couple. And once that door opened, the whole thing got messy fast. Peterson publicly accused T of threatening her with a gun during an incident she said happened in 2009. After that post went public, she said more people started reaching out to her. Within days, according to Peterson, she received messages from more than 30 individuals who described similar experiences involving the couple, with accusations ranging from drugging and coercion to sexual assault, covering a period from 2005 through 2018. By March 2021, attorney Tyrona Blackburn said he was representing 11 accusers. According to public reports, at the time, -1 women alleged direct sexual assault by T.I. Tiny or people connected to him, while 3 others brought related claims. The accusations followed a pattern that many people online said was hard to ignore. Several women claimed they were invited to parties, hotels, private settings, given drinks they believed were laced with substances, including MDMA, and then subjected to acts they said were non-consensual. Some of the claims were extremely detailed. One woman alleged that in 2010, she was forced to take drugs and engage in sexual activity at a hotel while she was in no state to consent. Another accuser claimed that same year, T and another man drugged and raped her in a hotel.
Some people call me Tip, but this is about another kind of tip that can help our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, and our fathers help get the perpetrators who commit crimes against them off the streets. All you got to do is call Crime Stoppers Atlanta. Tips can be anonymous, and there's even a reward. The number to Crime Stoppers Atlanta is 404-577-8477. That's 404-577-TIP.
These were not random rumors buried in gossip pages. Either attorney Lisa Bloom also publicly says she represented to more women with similar accounts, which only made the story grow bigger. The New York Times later reported that it had spoken with 5 women who described a similar pattern involving alleged drugging and assault. Blackburn also sent letters to authorities in California and Georgia asking for criminal investigation, describing what he called a pattern of methodical abuse. This is the material that had been sitting in the public record for years, and this is the same material 50 Cent was now threatening to drag onto the screen for everybody to relive again. That is why the threat felt so serious. Winning a diss cycle is one thing. Surviving a documentary built around sexual assault allegations is a completely different war. In May 2021, the LAPD confirmed that it opened a formal investigation after at least 2 women came forward with reports. But by September 2021, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office declined to file charges, saying the statute of limitations had run out on many of the claims. Around that same period, VH1's reality series, T and Tiny Friends and Family Hustle was canceled, even though no criminal charges followed. Then the issue came back again in January 2024, when a woman identified as Jane Doe, described in reports as an Air Force veteran, filed a civil lawsuit under California's Sexual Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act. That law had temporarily reopened certain older claims. In her complaint,
how did Fallon's family find out about his death?
I told him. I called his mom first, then I told his cousin. I told his little girl.
How old was his little girl?
His daughter was 4 years old at the time. 5 years old at the time.
And how did you tell his daughter that her father was dead?
He's in a better place and he won't be coming back. And I told her how much he loved her.
And how did you tell his mom that her son was gone?
Well, first I apologized. I apologized because, I felt that, all of those rounds were fired for me, in my opinion.
Legend that in 2005 she met T and Tiny in the VIP section of a Los Angeles nightclub, was handed a drink she believed had been spiked by Tiny, and was later taken to a hotel room where she says she was sexually assaulted while visibly impaired and unable to consent. T and Tiny fought the lawsuit and asked the court to dismiss it. In August 2024, a judge granted that motion after the plaintiff did not respond to the couple's filings, and the case was dismissed with prejudice. The couple have repeatedly denied all allegations against them, calling them false, extortionate, and completely made up. In a January 2024 statement tied to the Jane Doe lawsuit, they said, "We are innocent of these fake claims. We will not be shaken down, and we look forward to our day in court. No criminal charges have been filed against them in connection with these accusations." T.I.'s defamation lawsuit against Sabrina Peterson, filed in federal court in September 2024, was still active with a June 2026 trial date. So yes, the legal wall held up in court for the moment, but that only matters inside a courtroom. A documentary plays by different rules. It doesn't need a conviction to wreck public image, reopen old wounds, or put ugly accusations right back in people's faces.
50 Cent decide to wake up this Saturday, February 7th, on the dark side of the bed once again. And if you follow, I done spoke on that before, how I feel 50 Cent does not wake up on the wrong side of the bed in the morning. He wakes up on the dark side. And I say at least about half the month, maybe about 15 days, he gonna get it to the capital C's and go at somebody.
That is what makes this so dangerous for T and Tiny. The legal outcome can't stop cameras from revisiting old claims, interviewing accusers, and packaging years of controversy into one explosive story. And that matters because 50 Cent is not acting like a prosecutor here. He's acting like a producer. History shows that when he starts building a narrative, he doesn't need a verdict to make it hit hard. To understand why 50's threat lands like a bomb, you have to understand his method. He doesn't move sloppy, he moves in sequence, with purpose and usually with a bigger plan already forming behind the scenes. Through G-Unit film and television, 50 Cent has built a reputation for creating sharp, exposed style content aimed at figures in his orbit. And that pattern is exactly why people took this warning so seriously. The pattern is always the same, and people who follow 50's moves can see it coming from a mile away. First comes the social media location. Loud posts that grab attention and start the conversation. Next comes the public framing, where the narrative begins taking shape across interviews, blogs, and online debates. Then comes the production stage. When the cameras finally start rolling, by the time a documentary crew actually appears, the audience has already been conditioned to watch. The film itself is not what introduces the story. It delivers the final blow, wrapping everything together and locking the narrative into the public mind.
It came from, if we in a case together and I die, put it on me.
God bless.
Put it on me, bro. If I'm dead and you can go home, man, put the case on me. You hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
And unless it was some shit I wouldn't be a part of if I was alive, you know what I'm saying? If you got some dope and I'm gone and you're like, man, shit, it wasn't mine, so, man, why not, bro? You still have a life to live after I'm gone. Why would I expect you to, like, where is the logic in that?
Right.
Where's the logic in that?
He doesn't necessarily create
the allegations themselves. What he does is package them. He takes scattered accusations, public reports, and old headlines, then turns them into a structured story with a beginning, a middle, and an ending. After that, he places the finished product somewhere millions of people can watch it. That is the real move. That is the mechanism behind the threat. And that is exactly what he is aiming at. On March 5th, 2,650 Cent pushed the situation even further. He posted old footage of T appearing in court and paired it with references to a Crime Stoppers hotline. The post looked like trolling on the surface, but the intention felt calculated.
Got a beef or something, man? Because I seen a post today where they were saying that you were supposed to be in I guess one of the power, what's the name? I guess two of the actors on the show said that you were actually supposed to be on the show and then they replaced you with Method Man and they weren't expecting it or something.
No, that's not true. 50 and I, we were executive producers on a different show outside of the Power universe. But nah, man, me and 50 cool. I'm the only one who's not offended by his brass approach and he's not offended by mine. So, we play rough, but ain't no issue. It's a mutual
the clip
and captions were clearly designed to keep the narratives alive. At the same time, the long-running snitch accusations and the resurfaced sexual assault allegations. His caption read, "No, I don't like it, no verses. Let's do the stay away challenge and stay away from me." On the surface, it sounded like a joke, but many people reading it saw something else. It felt less like random trolling and more like a preview, almost like a trailer for something bigger that might be coming. Around the same time, blogger Tasha K jumped into the conversation and pushed the speculation even further. On February 28, 2026, she posted on X, claiming that sources close to 50 Cent said he was already preparing a documentary project focused on the allegations involving the couple. According to her post, the plan was to examine the accusation about alleged drugging and assault that had circulated for years. She also warned the Harris family to step back and de-escalate the situation. Her message was blunt. She wrote that they should apologize and fall all the way back, adding a warning that 50 does not play fair when he decides to target someone publicly. While all of this was unfolding 50 Cent also started releasing music that many listeners believed contained indirect shots. He dropped a diss recording record. Connected to the theme music for a series. Power Origins titled No One Told Us What We're Here For. The lyrics did not mention T directly, but the tone and timing had fans connecting the dots. Then on March 7th, 2026, another track arrived. This song was called No More Tricks. No More Lies featuring Max B. The record carried lines that many listeners interpreted as a message. Aimed straight at T, one of the key lyrics said, "No more tricks, no more tries. No more believing the lies." The caption attached to the release was short. Powerful 50 wrote, "I am the algorithm." That line revealed a lot about the strategy behind everything. This was not just about responding to a rival rapper. The goal seemed bigger than that. The goal was to dominate the conversation and shape the narrative before the other side could control their own story. People watching the situation closely noticed something important. The Instagram posts, the trolling, and even the music releases were not the main event. They looked more like the warm-up act. The real focus appeared to be some bigger content that could turn controversy into a full storyline and broadcast it to millions. That strategy is familiar because the template already exists in 2019. The documentary series Surviving R. Kelly drew massive attention and was watched by more than 26 million viewers. R. Kelly was later convicted in 2021. The proposed title Surviving T.I. and Tiny clearly mirrors that format, and it signals exactly what category 50 Cent would be placing the couple into if the project ever becomes real. From that angle, the move looks strategic. It builds a box around the target and dares them to escape the narrative. Once the story reaches the public, Tia's reaction to the entire situation has been openly defined on March 5th, 2026. He posted a video from the set of his music video and addressed the situation directly. In the caption, he wrote, "We can go bar for hit, or doc for DOC. Either way, all you gonna do is show how much of a fan you is. Let's play Nobody Fears You over here." Boo boo. Soon after that, he filled up with a diss record titled Trauma Bond. When sharing the song, he added another caption aimed at 50 Cent. He wrote, "Drop whatever you choose. Just please keep showing the world who you are. Pandora's box is ajar, sir." The message was clear. T was not backing down. But one detail in his response caught people's attention. T said DOC for DOC. That wording suggested he might have a documentary project somewhere in the works. What he has not revealed is whether anything he is preparing could match the infrastructure. 50 already has an established production company, distribution connections, and a huge audience already paying attention. And while all of this plays out publicly, there's another reality underneath it. This conflict has moved beyond to rappers trading shots. The tension has pulled T's entire household, and each response from members of the Harris family has helped push the story further into the spotlight. The moment that truly ignited that shift involved King Harris. His Instagram live rant targeting 50 Cent became one of the turning points that pushed the situation from a versus argument into something much bigger. When King Harris brought up 50 Cent's late mother, Sabrina Jackson, the reaction online exploded instantly. The backlash was immediate and loud. Social media split into two sides almost overnight. Some people defended King and said he was simply standing up for his mother. Others argued that bringing up someone's deceased parent crossed a line that should never be touched, no matter how heated the feud becomes. Even voices inside hip-hop began weighing in. Rapper Boosie Badass spoke publicly about the situation and made his stance clear. He said King's actions were wrong and explained that mocking a deceased parent should always be off limits. According to him, it did not matter who started the conflict. Some things simply should not be used as ammunition in a public feud. At the same time, it became clear that King was not moving alone. The entire Harris family appeared to respond as the situation grew bigger. T's other son, Damani Harris, who was 24 and building his own career in music, released a diss track titled Miss Jackson on February 27, 2026. Unlike the explosive social media exchanges, Damani kept his response centered on rap and lyrical competition rather than personal attacks, which some listeners saw as a more traditional hip-hop response. Even younger members of the family became part of the moment. Eris Harris, the 9-year-old daughter of T.I., and Tiny posted a short video of herself singing online. Caption framed the clip as a response after her mother Tiny had been criticized online. The post quickly circulated among fans who were already following the drama closely. Tiny Harris soon addressed the situation herself, breaking her side violence on Instagram. She praised her sons and called them her biggest flex for standing up for. From her perspective, their actions were not disrespectful or reckless. She saw it as protection of family rallying together when they felt one of their own had been attacked. T's response, however, was more layered. He later spoke about King's behavior during a podcast interview, and his comments showed that the situation inside the family was more complicated than it looked. Online, T explained that he had spent years trying to guide King away from exactly this kind of public conflict. According to him, the feud gave his son a reason to ignore lessons he had been trying to teach for years. At the same time, T made it clear there were limits. He revealed that he personally told King to stop after the T-shirt incident, referring to the moment when King wore clothing displaying the image of 50 Cent's late mother. During a diss video, that moment, even for some supporters of the Harris family, felt like a line had been crossed. T later tried to explain his own motivation for being involved in the feud. At all in an interview with TMZ, he did not frame the situation as a victory or battle he had won. Instead, he described his reasoning in a different way. He said the entire conflict, from his perspective, was about something else entirely, showing the women in his household that the men in their family would stand up for them when they felt disrespected. That framing matters. It shifts the narrative from defeat versus victory to defense versus loyalty, but it also reveals the strategic risk in situations like this. When a family steps into a conflict to protect one another, emotions can escalate quickly. And when things cross certain lines, the other side suddenly gains material they didn't have before. Observers watching the situation closely noticed this risk immediately. Some commentators even suggested that legal teams could be monitoring the public exchanges very carefully. One commentator put it bluntly, saying that 50 Cent's attorneys were likely watching every move from T and his family. According to that view, one serious misstep could open the door to legal action. 50 Cent himself eventually addressed the comments about his mother. In a post, his response was direct. He acknowledged that the situation had gotten messy, but he also reminded people of something personal. He wrote that his mother died when he was very young and pointed out that King had brought that up publicly. By doing that, 50 framed himself as the person who had been personally hurt by the exchange. In the court of public opinion, the T-shirt moment gave him a position many observers felt he could stand on. What had started as rap rivalry now carried emotional weight that reached far beyond music. Rapper Uncle Murdo was also asked about the situation. During an interview at first, he spoke about the way many people online had treated it entertainment. But in the middle of answering, he paused and corrected himself. He said something simple that captured how many observers had started to feel. He said, "It ain't funny." That moment summarized the shift perfectly. At first, the situation looked like another dramatic rap feud playing out online, but once the documentary threat entered the conversation, it stopped feeling like entertainment and started looking like something much more serious. As of March 8, 2026, no documentary has been officially announced. No network has confirmed a deal. No streaming platform is released an episode. Right now, what exists is only a threat, a track record, and a carefully maintained silence from 50 Cent. And that silence might be the most strategic move of all, because it keeps the conversation alive without revealing the next step. To understand what might happen next, many people are looking at past last examples. The documentary series Surviving R. Kelly premiered in 2019 and was watched by roughly 26 million viewers. 2 years later, R. Kelly was convicted and sentenced to 30 years in prison. The documentary did not create the evidence used in court, but it organized the public understanding of the allegations in a powerful way that shaped how people saw the case. That is the model many observers believe 50 Cent understands very well. T.I.'s legal situation, however, is different. The statute of limitations has expired on many of the allegations that surfaced years ago. The civil lawsuit filed in 2024 was dismissed with prejudice, and no criminal charges have been filed against him in connection with those accusations. Legally, that matters a great deal, but public perception doesn't always move the same way as the legal system. And historically, 50 Cent has shown that he does not need a conviction to create major damage to someone's public image. If a documentary were ever produced and released on a large platform, the consequences could reach beyond online debates. T's touring plans connected to his album Kill the King could face protests or cancellation. His trap music museum and other business ventures might come under heavier public scrutiny. Even his acting work, including appearances in the Ant-Man films, could become part of a much larger conversation. If some like this documentary actually reached a major platform, the ripple effects could across every part of T and Tiny's public life. Tiny's music career, including escape reunion activity, could suddenly be overshadowed by controversy, the real estate ventures, television deals, and media partnerships the couple built over 2 decades would carry a completely different narrative attached to them. Instead of headlines about business moves, the conversation could shift toward the accusations themselves. But there is another possibility too. If the documentary turns out to be weak, if it brings no new accusers, no new evidence, and no fresh details, then the entire strategy could backfire. T has maintained a defiant public posture for years, and his fan base has stood beside him. Federal gun charges, prison time, and waves of controversy, that loyalty has been tested before, and many supporters never left. If 50 Cent's production ends up looking more like a personal grudge than serious investigative storytelling, it could actually strengthen T.I.'s support instead of weakening it. Some fans are already pushing that narrative online. They argue that 50's moves come from rivalry or jealousy rather than accountability. Considering 50's well-known trolling style, that interpretation is not surprising. There is another counter-threat that T hinted at himself. During the back and forth, he responded with the phrase "doc for doc." That line suggested he might have his own documentary project ready, one that could explore 50 Cent's past conflicts, family estrangements, and business fallouts that have never been examined inside of formal production. Whether that project truly exists remains unclear, but the idea alone creates the appearance of standoff. And appearances are exactly where 50 Cent usually thrives. Many people watching this feud believe T and his family actually won the rap portion of the battle. The diss tracks landed, the social media moments were loud, and the Harris family rallied together with visible energy, defending Tiny from a pure rap beef perspective. Some fans think T's side had the stronger showing, but not everyone is convinced. That matters in the long run. Some observers keep pointing to something else. 50 Cent's long history of outlasting people who once believed they had the upper hand against him. Over the years, many rivals thought they were ahead in the moment, only to watch the situation flip later. That skepticism reflects a bigger truth about this situation. A diss track battle is its one arena. A documentary is a completely different one. And 50 is already proven. He knows how to dominate that second arena on a scale that rap beef simply cannot match. King Harris showed confidence during the same Instagram Live where the feud reached its most personal moment. From his perspective, the family was standing strong and responding to disrespect the way they believed was necessary. The confidence was clear. What remains uncertain is whether confidence is the right currency for the type of fight that might be coming next. The T-shirt moment, the Instagram rant, the photo involving the grave, every piece of it has already been seen by more than just fans. It has also been seen by observers analyzing the situation from legal, media, and production angles. And one thing history shows about 50 Cent is that he rarely moves without a strategy. This is someone who survived 9 gunshot wounds, rebuilt a business empire after financial setbacks, and spent years proving critics wrong when they claimed his career was fake. Whether people like his methods or not, planning has always been part of how he operates. So now the distracts are fading into the background. The trolling posts are slowing down. The real question, the one this entire story has been building toward, is still hanging in the air. Is the documentary actually coming? Because if it does arrive, the impact will likely have very little to do with rap bars, everything to do with the story it tells. And once a story like that reaches millions of viewers, the conversation can change very quickly. If you made it this far, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who follows hip-hop culture and industry drama. More deep dives and breakdowns like this are coming. So stay locked in.